Welcome back. We are going to take a look at how we can create a web page. So first things first, you need to understand what's happening on a web page and how you design a basic web page. And for that, I'll recommend you to go to this page, to W3 School's web page, and you'll get all the basics of creating a web page, from HTML to CSS to JavaScript to the newcomer Bootstrap. But for now, we are going to look to the basic thing about creating a web page. So the basic thing is the HTML. HTML is a standard for creating a web page, and it's called HTML because it's an acronym to Hypertext Markup Language. So the basic thing you need to understand about the HTML format is that it's kind of like writing on a kind of a notepad. Or a basic text editor. So you won't have much formatting, you won't have much styles, you won't have colors, you only have plain text. And so we are just going to take a look at the basic HTML example and see what's happening here. So on the HTML example, you always have this initial reference. It's not actually needed. You can live without it, although it's a standard and you should have it there. Then you'll have the HTML tag and the end of HTML tag. This refers that we have an HTML text inside these blocks. Then you have the head tag and the end of head tag. On the tag, usually you can put the title and some extra references for your page, or for the page you're developing. It's much needed for the browsers to look for kind of have a resumed information of what's happening on the body of your web page. So as you see here, you have the body and the end of the body, and inside here is the content of what you're doing. So everything that you write, all the images, everything will be available on the body. So this is a basic HTML page. Now, if you want some styles on your web page, if you want just, for example, to add a color to your web page, or to add a rectangle with a color inside, or you want to format on the center your text, or on the right or on the left, or if you want to justify your text, you'll be able to do it with the CSS styles. We will learn it right away. So before anything else, we are going to install this software, this nice software called Brackets. Brackets is used as a kind of a smart text editor, specifically for web design. So it understands languages such as it automatically understands language such as HTML, CSS, JavaScript, so on. So everything that we've talked before. So for downloading Brackets in a Linux system, it's not that hard. You just download the package, and it will download the deb file. So if you're using a Ubuntu operative system, just open with Ubuntu Software Center and it will automatically install it. If not, save the file, and then if you want to know how to install that package, well, it's deploy package, but you can just write it down, install .deb file, and here you have. So here it is. Sudo deploy package -i and the name of the package. So if you open your terminal, you can do it exactly like this. So you can just write sudo deploy package -i and the name of the package. You press enter and then it will install automatically. Just don't forget to go to the folder where you're downloading the file. So probably here you can go to downloads, and so I just write it, change directory to the downloads, and now you can just do the deploy package thing and the name of the package. Press enter and it will download it. So I'm not going to do it right now because I already have brackets installed on my computer, so I'll just go for the brackets. Here it is. Okay. So what's the good parts about using brackets? Well, brackets, as I said, it's like a text editor. It's like a special text editor. But with a live preview function. It uses an express localhost, if you want to call it this way. So you don't need to configure anything, and it will be available right away. And as you see here, you have the code on your left, the button for the live preview, and there you have the live preview of the text, of the getting started text that it's here. So this is already an HTML page. It doesn't actually seem like, because it's more complex, but it actually is an HTML page. So you have the HTML, the head. Also, if you click here, you'll see the end of the head tag, the body. You see on the end the end of the body tag and the end of the HTML tag. So this is a pretty cool feature. You also notice that when I click on the text, I see the highlighting of the text. That's also a really cool feature about brackets. So let's take a look at some special configurations about brackets, some special features. So if I just change this text here, the getting started with brackets, I'll have my title changed. As you see here, and if I change this main title, for example my name, there you go. The live preview will act like it's supposed to. It will live preview what you're writing on the left. That's one of the most interesting features about brackets. As you're seeing here on the body, inside the body you have these special tags, like H1, H2, paragraph, and so on. So those type of tags are very similar to Word, although in Word you don't actually see those tags, but they might be there. So if I want to say, for example, I want to write a title in here, so caps lock to the title, for the title, and if you come here to the styles, and you can just put it on like a style title. Wow, cool. So this is nice. Now let's put an heading here, like caps lock heading also. And if you highlight it, you can change it to the heading one. Now if I want to write the body of the text, hello, wait, sorry, hello, I'm the body. Let's see how it works. And you already have the text body available. So if you want to put another heading, there you go. So the same thing that you see here for the word, you will see it here on the HTML. So the header one, it's the larger font format, and the header 2 is the smaller one, and the header 3 would be even a smaller one. Here you go, and so on. And the text body that you saw here on LibreOffice, it's the text that it will be inside the body. So whenever I write something here on the body, I'll be writing with a text body style. This is the same as this here. I'll just show you. So, see? This is the same as this. That's because it's inside the body text format, and it's not inside any tag, special tag, because it's inside this main tag called body. So how does HTML knows how to automatically format things that are under these tags? Well, it actually knows because it has a CSS file associated to it. If you take a look at the head, you'll see this link to the main.css file. So he already knows what to do when these tags are called. So if you take a look at the main CSS file, so this is another file, you'll see that the body has some stylings here. See, background color, line height, font size, font family. Oh cool, it actually uses Helvetica, really nice. Max width, padding, margin, etc. And also the headings, heading 1, heading 2, 3, 4, and so on. As you see here, more a special reference to the H2, a reference to the A-link, and so on. So this is already styled. This getting started example is really cool because you can understand the basics of an HTML, of a page, of a web page. So if you come here to the index, you'll see what I mean. I'll just delete this link. Oh, wow, this is really awful. This is really bad. You have no formatting or no, yeah, nothing. See here, even the image is not formatted. So if you come here to the main CSS, you'll see that the image has some restrictions as to the max width, as to the margin, as to the border radius, as to the border, everything. And once you just delete the association to the main CSS, you'll stop having that formatting, and the image will appear as the standard size, as the size that it already naturally has. So I'll go back to the CSS file, and there you go. The style has come back. Okay, so what about these P's that you see here? P's mean paragraph, and that's whenever you have a block of text and you want to make a paragraph out of it. So whenever you want to make a paragraph, you just type it P, an end of P. So that's the difference between Word and HTML. That's one of the differences. Is that in Word you don't see what's happening on the code side. Here you're seeing what's happening on the code side. You can, if you want to go deeper and have some helps on the process, you can look for the Markdown. You can look for Markdown. Markdown is a kind of a simplification that you can use, so you can write HTML without having the need of writing everything down. You can write it like a Word text. It's a bit simpler, and it will convert it to an HTML file. I won't cover it here, but it's a really cool tool if you want to further implement it on your web page. Okay, so this is the paragraph, and what if I just want to make a break instead of a paragraph? So just type down BR, there you go, and just write something, and here you have break. So remember, if you just press enter and you write something, you won't have an enter. It will continue inline. If you want to actually see an enter on your web page, you need to write break. There you go, you have the break. Or you can just put it inside the paragraph, as you see here, or here, so on. Other cool stuff that you can add individually to your HTML, that it's kind of specific to the text. It's something that you cannot add to your CSS file because it's specific to a certain part of your text. Is the bold and the italic and all those cool features that you usually use in Word. So to do that, you just add another tag called EM, and it refers to the italic, and you can just use the B for bold. B, end of B, and there you go, a bold. So once you an advice something that I recommend you to do is probably take a quick look at how this index is made, because it already has the references for you to walk through and understand how things roll on the HTML world. So if you kind of see something different than what you already understand, you can just click on the text and try to see where it goes. Okay. So now that we've understood what's the basics of building an HTML page, we will just give a step further, and we will look for a kind of an already completed theme, so we can edit that theme, as the main focus of Fab Academy is not building web pages or creating like state-of-the-art web pages. We just want a page so we can document everything. So what I recommend you is to look for pages, already completed pages, but keep it simple, or else you won't get you won't be able to edit anything on the HTML page. So one of the nice things that that appeared on the market was something called Bootstrap. Bootstrap it's a project with lots of blocks of code, kind of complex code that already has embedded JavaScript and lots of really cool stuff that you really want to add to your page, or else your page would be really boring. So if you give a look to the Bootstrap webpage, you'll see something called components. And if you click the components, you'll see things that you actually can add to your web page. As for example, a drop-down list. This is a really cool feature, right? So if you download a Bootstrap template, you will be able obviously to add this drop-down list. Or for example, button. Let's see, button groups. These are really cool features that you can immediately add to your web page. And this is something that if you'd want to build it from scratch, it would be really impossible to do it. Or you would take a lot of time in 1 week or 3 days, won't be able to complete the web page. And you still need to develop your final project or to think about a final project, so there is no time to make it happen. Bootstrap is actually a mixture of all the components that you can see here on W3 School. It has the HTML basis, it uses CSS for styling, and on top of the CSS, because CSS it's not actually perfect for everything that you see on a contemporary web page. So there is now a thing called JavaScript that adds that extra glimpse to your page and that extra functionality that you see on a web page. And we won't get through that. We will just pass it through and go directly to Bootstrap, because it already merges together all those functions in a neat way, so you don't need to worry about designing the buttons and designing everything. You'll just download the main basic web page, and then you can add those blocks of code right away, and that's it. Okay, so let's go back up and we can search here for a Bootstrap theme. Probably these Bootstrap themes are just paid themes, so we don't want paid themes. We want just some freely available themes, clean themes. So just look for Bootstrap themes. There you go. So now we can browse themes and templates, and there you go. Really nice, clean, easy to use basic templates. So I'll just go for one of these here. And just take a look. Yeah, it seems like a nice web page. So just download it. And I already have a version here on my desktop. Now I just delete that version. So I'll go back here to the and download it back again. I'll open it and zip it to my desktop, just to keep it easy. Now I can drag and drop this folder to my tree. I don't want to save it. And there you go. There we have a nice example of how you should be building your web page tree. So if you open the folder, you'll see the same structure that you see here, with the index, with the, well, it has the license and the readme. You also can use this, but for now we can just forget about it. And you have the CSS, the fonts, and JavaScript. Why the fonts? The fonts because they are using special fonts. That's why they have the folder for the fonts. If you want a specific font that is not integrated with standard HTML, you can add your own font here and refer it on your index and on your CSS. So you can open your CSS folder and you see that you have some extra CSS files compared to the getting started CSS that you saw there. And why is that? That's because Bootstrap is really complete and complex. So you have the standard CSS, but you also have the Bootstrap CSS that has all the features integrated in it, so that when you push the code from the Bootstrap page and you paste it on your index, it will automatically work. That's because if you open your Bootstrap, sorry, that was not my idea, but yeah, you will see here the reference as a standard CSS to everything that Bootstrap works with, everything. Okay. And also the JavaScript files, the same as the CSS files, but with that extra boost. Okay, so now that we've understood the tree, let's take a look. Let's take a look at the index folder, at the index file. Sorry. So now I'm just going to close this one that I won't need, also this one, and I'll just click Live Preview again. And it will open a new tab on the Chromium and will preview my web page. As you see, this is a nice modern web page that you can obviously see it by just changing the window size, and you can see that it's already responsive. So this is one of the main advantages of using Bootstrap. You don't need to build anything from scratch. It's already everything in there, and you don't need to worry about it. Just need to worry about your text, about your images, and about the content that you put in there. So there you go. Let's take a look at the index file. You have the head, you have the body, you have the HTML. So you can start by changing your page title. You can just add something really nice, something like sorry. And there you go, the link to the CSS and the link to the other CSS. So everything put together on the head file. Now you have the body, and on the body you'll see this navigation. This is an extra feature. This is something that you haven't seen yet. The navigation is actually this bar up here, and also he has added some comments here that are represented by this tag here, and you can also use it for helping yourself and others to use your web page, and turn your navigation easier on your web page. So if you take a look at an F bar, you'll see the start bootstrap text over here, and you can obviously change that to your head title. Obviously the about will be very much needed, and also the contact will also be important, but the services are not important for now for us, so we will change it to final project. Just change it to final project. Also you see here an href reference. So if you need to understand what's happening in here, you can just come here to the HTML and to the W3 school and try to understand what's happening in there. So this href is referred to a link. It can be external or internal link, so you can just add links to your web page. So HTML links, there you go. You see href, and that's what we need. So here for the about, we can create an about.html page. So for that, you can go to your bootstrap folder and you can create right here a document called about.html. Now you see that the about has appeared right here. You can just write hello, save the hello, go to the index, and as you already have the about on the navigation bar, the about.html here, once you open the about tab, there you go, the reference to the about.html. Also, if you want to change this image, it's quite easy. Just if you don't know what's the name tag, you can look again on the HTML links. You can go here and look for the images, HTML images, and there you go. Image source, picture, mountain, JPEG, etc., etc. So image source. I'll go here, I'll navigate through it, and I'll see here the page heading, the secondary text, and then I'll probably see the image. Here it is. So instead of having this source from an external link, as you see, we can add an internal link. So we'll look for an image from the Fab Academy page, or from Fab Academy. I'll change it to images, and we will, yeah, this is a nice image. Just save it. We will save it to our desktop and to our bootstrap folder. We'll just create a folder called img, and watch out with this type of names or names with special characters, or names with spaces in between. That is also a special character, so be careful about it. Don't don't use it at all, because you will have trouble on the on your repository, and your web page won't be loaded. Or on this example, your image won't be loaded. So I'll change the name to, for example, principles.png. If you want to add a space, just add an underscore and it will be easier. Principles, practices, sure, png, save. And now you can just delete this and refer to the image folder. There you go, the autocomplete function. This is really cool feature. And then, as there is only one image in it, you'll just have this option available. So you just click it, and there you go. So if you take a look at your web page, you'll see that the image is already there, and this is really awesome. Now you can also change the project one name. You see that it's a heading 3. You can change it to like week 1, and the subheading you can change it to principles and practices. And you can also add a nice text here to describe what you went through, like in a resumed version. You also see that you have a really nice button here, kind of a JavaScript button, and probably you would want to add a link to your week 1 page. So as you see here, the view project is already highlighted. It has already highlighted the button, so you can change the href to week1.html. You still don't have the week1.html, but you can create one. You can just go here, new document, week1.html. There you go. You already have a week1.html. Just don't forget to later on add some content here. You can also go back to the Bootstrap page and go to the Bootstrap themes and select another theme, kind of an easier post theme, and use the post theme for it. There you go. If you now click the project, the white page from the week 1 is showing up. So that's mainly it. If you have some questions, if you have some extra questions, then just don't hesitate to send me an email to the list or to my personal email. If you also need, we can arrange a meeting for you and help you through this web page creation. Well, that's mainly it. So good work.